Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who has been in no contact, in large part because there have been a number of people, friends or family, maybe it's coworkers, maybe it's exes, who have gotten in the way of the connection that they still think about. So there's a difference here in terms of high and low vibration. And the connection, this deep connection that they feel with you, is having them basically reassess, do you want to be around this type of energy, or do you want to be around the person that you are missing? Because they are going through a considerable amount of frustration or sadness because they feel like they can't talk to you, because they feel like they can't pursue you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Hello, key controller. Hello, April. Ooh, hold on. I'm thirsty. All right. So if you are interested in a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below, wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. You've probably also noticed there's a join button now, so I have memberships. I'm really excited about that. Thank you to those of you that have joined. There are 3 tiers, so I would hope that means as far as costs, you can find something that works for you. But I still appreciate those of you just liking and subscribing. So let's dive in. We're going to start with the cats rule the earth. Ooh, almost lost that. And see what else we've got for you. So I did also see one other card that said they're going through a spiritual awakening. It's pretty likely that we're going to see references to basically having to choose between a karmic lifestyle, how things have been, and something more elevated. Hey, Laura, how's it going? We've got 9 of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So there's a lot that this person has seen end. They may have had a lot of friendships start off great, and now they don't talk to those people. They may have family that they felt close to or felt like they could trust, and now they don't really talk to them as much. This is somebody who's been through a lot, and I feel gotten pretty accustomed to the ebbs and flows of connections. And I think they got a little comfortable with the instability that they had with those connections around them. And then you came along, and your presence in their life or the way that you interacted with them highlighted in a very obvious way the shortcomings of the connections that they had in their life. It started to get them thinking, okay, so if this person can treat me with respect, then why am I accepting less from others? Hello, Earth Angel. How are you doing? Hello, Steven. Hello, Illuminati. How are you doing? 2 of Cups. 7 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands in the reverse. The issue is, even though there is a deep connection between the 2 of you, the amount of work required was intimidating for this person to consider. They may not believe that there's a way for the 2 of you to be together until there are, approvals that start coming in from people that they know. They may feel like you ask too much, or they don't know if they can be, consistent. So I think this is a little bit of fear of failure. I might really do my best and try to be that person for you, only to lose you anyway. It's kind of like they wonder, what would happen if I give it all up and then you don't want me? What would I do then? Hello, Carrie. Hello, Jamie. How are we doing? No. It looks like the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, indeed. So there have been a lot of nights where this person thinks about reaching out to you, a lot of moments where they feel like the only one that could make them smile would be you. And then they talk themselves out of it. Two of Wands in the reverse. They're like, yeah, but if I do that, like, would I just be disappointing them again? Would I just be like starting things to not really know how to end them or keep them going? It's funny because this is how I felt yesterday. I was setting up the Roomba and it was taking forever to do the mapping portion of it, which it has to do in order to be able to clean. But it was getting late and I was ready to go to sleep. And thankfully, it was running out of juice. So it decided, okay, I'm going to go back and charge for a little bit. And I was like, okay, cool. I should have looked at the app because apparently it was saying once it's done charging, it's going to, start back up again. So I had fallen asleep for like an hour and then I woke up to that whirring noise of the Roomba. And I can't say that, or I shouldn't say that. I can't believe it. But literally, I woke up, I turned it off like half asleep. I woke up this morning, it was right outside my door. Like, just like waiting. So funny. This is somebody who's like, if I do that, if I set this up, or if I talk to this person, or if I reach back out, if I ask what's going on, or try to make some plans, if I start something, Ace of Wands, I gotta know what I want that to look like or where I'm going with that, Hello, Rainbow Warrior. How are you doing? The robot vacuum cleaner. So we've got the Page of Wands in the reverse, the Lovers, and Death. I can't communicate with you because every time I think about starting up a conversation or bringing your energy back into my life, I think about how amazing that would be. And then I start to wonder what happens if it goes off the tracks, or what happens if I'm not ready. It's like they only have one get out of jail free card and they don't want to use it too quickly. They don't want to use it at all, maybe. They are too focused on how does this unravel. They're struggling to imagine it going well. This is the Signs of the Times. Hey, Voyager, how are you doing today? What else do we have? Sunflower and Feather. Action and messages. So it's starting to become more frequent that they consider messaging or reaching out to you. And I think it's going to reach that point where it's like not fast enough where they change their mind and they'll send that message or they'll make that phone call. There's something that keeps pulling them back, and they know somewhere, they know it's inevitable they're going to reach back out. It's about having that confidence to feel like, now I can actually approach things in a mature way, or I've gone through the healing that I needed to. I'm ready for a healthy relationship. They're questioning whether or not they're rushing it or if they're taking too long. Timing is important. All right. This is the OG. Hello, Nawaji. How are you doing? What else do we have? Wow. Devil and Temperance, the devil and the angel. Yeah, talk about a choice. The Lovers can talk about a really strong spiritual connection or a soul tie that you feel. That person's my soulmate kind of thing, right? But it can also talk about a choice. And this is somebody who's having to choose whether or not their fear like outranks their desire for that energy next to you. So devil on one shoulder, angel on another. Who are they going to listen to? Hey, Upper Echelon, how are we doing today? Queen of Wands in the reverse, which is in the same column as the other Queen of Wands in the reverse. And the Four of Wands. So I know that it would be easier for me to just kind of like chalk it up as a loss already, not even try or just assume the worst. But it's too hard. Being away from you hurts. They keep thinking about how happy you make them, or how if they've had a rough day, just hearing your voice makes them calm down. They're questioning their own insecurities or fears and realizing that maybe a lot of that was actually tied to the influences around them and the comments that those individuals would make. And they're starting to more so kind of like differentiate between high vibe and low vibe. So, what kinds of things am I letting influence my decisions that might actually be low vibrational and something that I'm ready to like let go of? They want to think in more positive terms, or they want to be more, it's like they want to be more cognizant of their ability to manifest. And if they're thinking negatively, of course, that's all they're going to find. So it's switching gears and appreciating that focus on good things might actually bring those things in. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. The absence or the distance has really shown them how important your presence in their life is, or what kind of positive influence you offer. Like I said earlier, there's a stark contrast between what you do for their energy, how you inspire them, versus the other energies in their life. I'm not saying it's all of them, but it's definitely more than one that have kept them feeling like that's not possible, or that could never happen for me, or I don't deserve that. They are rewriting those rules that they had in their minds because they feel like maybe it's time to be more optimistic. Maybe it's time to believe that they could be happy. Hey, Hunter, how are you doing? I dig the enthusiasm. What else do we have? High Priestess in the reverse, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Seven of Wands. It does feel to me that they are understanding the importance of protecting themselves from disloyal, negative, or like that energy of lack that a lot of the individuals they'd surrounded themselves with possess. They see that things were cloudy, or they weren't as confident. They weren't as able to tap into that intuition because they've been around that low vibe. So you were like a breath of fresh air, and you could just say that's like a phrase, but that's what helped them understand what they should be working on. You're kind of like a canary in the cave. And with all this yellow, that seems to be validated. So we've got the Three of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. You may be questioning if it's time to throw in the towel, if perhaps you've been a little too generous with the time that you've been allowing this connection to mature. But there's things happening that you don't understand or that you're not aware of, things that are really positive, spiritual awakening, that really is inspired by the fact that they don't want to lose you. Oh, I'm glad you did. Hello, Spirit in the Sky. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Hello, All Around Tarot. How are you doing? Hello, Frederick. How's your day? How the aliens doing? This is The Truth Is. What else do we have? Divine timing. Everything will work when the universe sees fit. And break time. Time apart will be beneficial to this connection. The universe is like, yeah, I know. You want everything and you want it right now. But what we're trying to tell you is if you take the burrito out of the microwave before it's actually cooked, it's still going to be frozen in the middle and then it's not going to be delicious. And then you're going to take that awkward bite where it's part hot, part not. And then you're like, and we don't want that reaction. The universe is saying you're going to get what you want, or you're going to get this beautiful love, but you got to let some things marinate, right? You got to give it a little time. And I do think you already have. I'm not saying you haven't. But when this person has achieved what they need to, they will come forward. If they do not do what they need to, they might still come forward. But there would be another love interest that has done the work that, shows up. So don't rush it. Basically, the universe is saying if this person were to come back with like as quickly as you want them to, they would ruin it. So like, we're trying to help you out here. Thank you. I appreciate that. We doing a little Veruca salt up there, Andy? How's your day going? Yeah, exactly. And we've got the self-centered card. Uh-oh. Preoccupied with the interests of self. Now let's keep in mind it's a general reading. This is going to vary for all of you, but we've got somebody here who is too concerned with themselves. They don't really think about others' feelings. That could literally be your person, and the ego death is important for them to learn how to be more compassionate. For others of you, it's this self-centered energy that they've been surrounded by, and it's a bad influence on them. That's not their energy. They've just picked up some bad habits, So if they're able to remove themselves from that energy or, kind of do a little bit of cleansing, their real energy will come through. It might be a little bit of a chameleon. Hunter, I do still offer personals. My email address is in the description box below. Definitely one of my favorite parts. Hello, William. How's it going? Hello, Rainbow Warrior. That's funny. So we've got interview, obsession, and trash. There's a process that this individual feels like they need to follow. I should give you a name. Well, it's a little bit negative. Can we call them the Troll Master? Because they got all these trolls in their life. I mean, I'm going to call you Temperance because I am an optimist. And you're choosing between the devil and the angel here, right? Or your person is. So we have Temperance, could be Sag. And I feel like their love interest, it's easy to want to choose the lovers. But this is the obsession that is mentioned. The idea of never seeing you again, never talking to you again is like a gut punch to them. They know they have to someday find a way to have a conversation, and they know that timing is incredibly important. They have to be ready, but they don't want you to forget about them, move on. What if I do all of this work and I work up the courage to go talk to you. And then you're like, I'm sorry, new phone, who dis? Or what's your last name? They're nervous. Same as burrito. Cook it too long, it's going to get all crusty. Unless you like that. Oh, yes. I would definitely do that. Yeah, send me an email, Hunter. All right, so we've got alien, telepathic, dreams, songs, and access granted in the reverse. So even though there is this no contact or emotional distance, and maybe even you don't have access, maybe you don't have their current phone number, maybe, they blocked you on Facebook or something. This is somebody who still feels connected to you, even though there's no conventional means of communication that you're actually leveraging. It's like they see you when they're dreaming, or they get these feelings and they're confident that it is how you feel. It makes them a little bit uncomfortable, but also like they love it. Crickets, silence, non-action. But they can't live in this little bubble or rely on dreams. They're going to have to eventually take action. We did have the sunflower card come out. So they're trying to basically piece together these little pieces of your energy that they feel in dreams and use that to build up that courage so that they can actually communicate with you and get that like real life interaction. Let's get a few more from, this is the Black Tarot. I guess not. That's okay though. We're doing all right. We've got 5 of spheres in the reverse and the 4 of spheres. The spheres in the Black Tarot are the Pentacles and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So I think this is just finally acknowledging I've been dealing with friends or family members that, expect things of me that they maybe don't necessarily deserve. And they've blocked me from being able to actually connect with somebody that's meaningful. Why would I choose the fake love and the codependent toxic energy instead of actually like going with the real thing, the genuine unconditional love? Kind of having a little bit of a difficult chat with themselves, like, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Maybe I can still change my mind. Hello, Elise. How are you doing? Borgia, you talking about what you can do now because there's no moderators? Oh, no, it's key controller. Watch it. We've got 9 of Swords in the reverse, the 5 of Wands, Ace of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. So if you want to have this connection in your life, the universe is saying it's time to fight for it. You will feel better, or the anxiety is increasing because the time is approaching. So there's I feel multiple ways you're going to get confirmation that the time is right. It could be music, it could be dreams, it could be weird things that strangers say to you, but it's going to make it very clear you need to communicate with this love interest of yours. So depending on whether or not you're the one who needs to communicate or you're the one who's going to get the communication, there's definitely a little bit of a thumb on the scale with the universe being like, hey, it's time to talk to that person. What are you doing? Why are you waiting? Hello, Michael. How's it going? Hello, Dave. How are you today? Oh, I love it. It's a good song, Jamie. Two of Cups, the Fool, Temperance. Well, that's it. But I do like the Temperance is coming back out because that makes me feel like somebody is leaning towards this angel energy or this high vibrational energy because they can't let go of this love. It's easier for them to let go of everything else and start fresh. It's like if I have to move away, if I have to change my number, if I have to get a new job, if I have to tell my best friend that, you know, I need some space, like I'll do what I need to do, but I want to feel this peace that I felt with you. I want to feel like I belong somewhere and you gave that to them. So I do think that they've made their choice. I love to, this is the Temperance card and it's got the sun at the top location and the moon at the bottom, which makes me feel like we're choosing the light. We're choosing the good stuff. We've got the Three of Cups. So they're thinking about a reunion. They're thinking about a date. What can we do when I see you again? You know, are you going to laugh with me or do we have to have like a really difficult conversation first? They're starting to let themselves daydream about what it would be like to have you back in their life instead of focusing on the negative possibilities. So I do think they've finally been able to address the fear or the insecurity. And they've decided, even though there's a chance that this might not go the way they want it to, they still have to speak their truth. They still want to communicate and, you know, let the chips fall where they may. What else do we have? This is the Poe Tarot. I don't read this in the reverse, by the way. I'm glad to hear that, Michael. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Got the Hanged One. Indecision. There are two bodies, the rudimental and the complete, corresponding with the two conditions of the worm and the butterfly. So perfect. Do you want to go through this transformation? Do you want to level up, or are you content to stay the worm, caterpillar? Seven of Quills, which is the Seven of Swords. Misery is manifold. I feel like the universe made this person's environment, Temperance, made their environment less stable or untenable. I don't want to stay here. Things got worse because the universe was like, yeah, you don't like it, right? Is it because you miss that person? So like maybe you should do something? They're getting a little bossy. King of Paws, which is the King of Pentacles. A troop of echoes whose sweet duty was but to sing in voices of surpassing beauty, the wit and wisdom of their king. There's a pressure in this karmic lifestyle or community to fall in line or like agree with everyone. Maybe it's, you know, we've been friends since high school and this person's always been like the ringleader. It's kind of Regina George-ish, right? I felt like I had to listen to the trolls in my life because that's what I always did, or because if I, you know, step out of line or if I disagree with people, then they would make fun of me. And I don't know, maybe I have a thick skin, but like I welcome people making fun of me. Like, bring it on. Maybe I'll giggle. Maybe I'll just like make you look silly. But it's like they're realizing maybe they cared too much about what these people thought about them and didn't care enough about what you think about them. So I think that's what's like flip-flopping, right? Or changing. Because the Hanged One or the Hanged Man, this is about a change in perspective. This is the Wild Reflections Tarot. Hi, Khalil. How are you doing today? Oh, that's Perfect. Hey, Hayden. How you doing? What else do we have? Queen of Wands in the reverse. Seven of Cups in the reverse. Starting to see that people they once looked up to aren't as great as they thought. People they maybe wanted to emulate, now not really my role model. And they're rediscovering the things that they had maybe tried to kind of like hide about themselves because they were trying to fit in. Never try to be other people so that you get their approval. The best kind of approval is the approval you get because you're authentic and you're yourself. This is somebody who's decided, I'm not going to try to be this like mishmash of different things in order to please different people or, feel like I fit in. Maybe it's kind of awesome to not fit in. Maybe I like being different. Maybe I just want to be myself. And that could be something they learned from you. You might be like a 1 in a million kind of person, right? Very unforgettable. But they're seeing now that what they had previously considered to be kind of cool or what they wanted to be or the group that they wanted to be a part of, now they're just kind of like, I don't know, man. Seems kind of lame. They've graduated from that. It's not their thing. So we have Justice in the reverse, the Devil in the reverse, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups in the reverse. Somebody who has decided to leave somewhere because they acknowledge that things had not gone the way they wanted to because of the people around them or because of that like stagnant energy they allowed to be, what they breathe in every day. They are working on the things they had previously felt they didn't need to, or that maybe those influences around them kind of laughed at. Oh, I don't know why you'd get your education, or I don't know why you'd want to work for that promotion, or I don't know why you're building that house. Whatever it is, they had their opinions that no longer really matter to this person anymore. Temperance has decided, I know what makes me happy, and it's not where I am currently. So I'm going to outline the things that I need to do to get away from this community or this situation and be able to communicate with that person again. So finally taking action. This is exciting. Hello, Darnell. Hello, Alicia. How are we doing? I hope so too. Hello, Lemonade. How's it going? We've got, I am starting to understand our connection. At first, I couldn't figure you out because you're so different from everyone else. And then I realized that's what I like about you. You aren't like anybody else. You inspired this person to embrace their own uniqueness. We need to let each other go. But they are no contact with you because they didn't know how to do that. This has been a very wide gap between who you are and who they are, and they had to think about who they could be in order to be with you. So I do feel like you or they at one point said, like, I think we're just too different. I don't know if this is going to work out. Hello, Co-Create. How you doing today? I hope you got your reading. Let me know if you didn't. Did I say hello to Deborah? What's up? Hello, Planet Brad. I hope you're having a good day. So we've got, it was my fault, but I blamed you. The timing just wasn't right for us. I think for a while they listened to what other people were saying about you and agreed that it's just, you weren't going to fit into their life. So if that's true and I'm not going to make all these changes, then I guess, that's just how it is. But then they started to question, maybe it's just a matter of timing. Maybe I could change some things. Maybe things will shift and then it'll work. They started to get more hopeful about this connection working out. And I think part of it is they started thinking that they were going to change. I can't stop thinking about you. I wish things could be different. My life is not as together as it seems. They felt like they had to work on a lot pertaining to their finances or their general stability. I feel you, even though we are apart. This is that like dreamy energy, right? When I go to sleep, I'm excited because maybe I'll like get some of your energy, or there's little things throughout the day that remind me of you, and it feels like it's intentional. They do think that you are still somehow in their energy. They like that. It's like if you ever watched Twilight or read the books, how Bella felt Edward's energy. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. I know I was a distraction from your pain, and I hope that you can forgive me one day. So they realize that from your perspective, you probably think that they didn't expect, well, or that they didn't view your connection to be very serious. You may not know exactly whether or not they love you or how much they love you. This is something they haven't really always been very comfortable discussing. And I do feel like they want to communicate so that they can apologize for how they approached this and be maybe a little bit more willing to take accountability for why there was this distance or delay. This is the Love Oracle. Second chance, reconciliation, making amends, opportunity. So now that I've been working on myself, now that I've been walking away from the trolls, do I have an opportunity to actually do this the way I should have? Can I have a healthy connection with this person? Or is it broken beyond, repair? If this person has generally been, the type to ghost or just kind of like go quiet, they are now going to be the type to chase you. There's going to be pursuit because there is a concern that maybe they've taken too long. Maybe your boundaries are permanent. So if I take, months and months or years and years, the chance that you meet somebody new or that you just kind of let go of it gets greater. So there's like a drum beat getting faster. So they're trying to figure out where you actually stand because they've gotten some mixed signals. You may have made it seem like you miss them. You may have made it also seem like you're over them, and they don't have a lot of access to you. So they're, I think, getting kind of creative. They might be asking mutual friends. Some of you might have a catfish following your account, but they are trying to understand as much as they can before they approach you about whether or not you're open to it. Beauty, charming, graceful, and kind-hearted. Conflicted, decisions, hot and cold. One of the things this person keeps coming back to, or keeps them coming back to you, and by the way, we have another butterfly, is the genuine kindness that you possess. You are not like a lot of the people they've encountered that do things for others because they expect things in return. You're the kind of person that gives things without expecting a gift back, or you do nice things for people because it makes you feel good to help somebody. And they don't see that energy very frequently, if at all. And it makes it really difficult for them to accept your absence. All right, let's see how they're doing on their spiritual awakening. Hi, Bradley. How are you doing? Reciprocity for the win. Exactly. Tomorrow, begin again, continue ahead, better days, and relief. They have been working on their healing and it's making a difference. I think they're about to start a new life. They are picking up on messages. I feel like there's an ancestor of theirs that is trying to help them choose the right path or making things more obvious for them. And we have justice. They are very focused on doing the right thing because they feel like they did not treat you the way they should have. They have embraced the idea that there's a lot that could go well with the two of you instead of focusing on the negatives or the shortcomings or the trolls that don't like the two of you being together. They are now kind of in love with the idea of I don't know, like the potential for a future with you. For some of you, this person does want to start a family with you, but more importantly, it's a life that they want with you where they don't have to wonder, how long do I have to wait till I see you again? It's, when you're home from work, I get to see you and then we can talk about our days with each other. So I hope that helps. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.